Speaking of Jimmy Garoppolo, DeMonte, let's talk some Sunday Night Football.
Last night, the Broncos beat the Niners in a thrilling 11-10 game.
It's one of the worst football games I've ever seen in my life.
Wasn't one of the worst. It was the worst football game I've ever seen.
I mean, this score was 7-5 at one point. 10-5 looked like it might be the winning score. Yeah. Go ahead.
Nathan Fielder Wilson looked like his old self for a drive, but besides that, he was pretty trash.
Yeah.
Somehow, he may have played better than Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
Will either of these teams matter in a month?
I think the Niners will. I don't think the Broncos will. Let's start with the Broncos. I told you guys Russell Wilson was cooked. I might have given him too much credit. Chris Collinsworth, Russell Wilson made one throw and ran the ball one time. And Collinsworth was like, there's the Russell Wilson I remember. Yeah, occasionally. Limited release Russell Wilson. He has to be better than what he's been. He has to be. But the Broncos, that defense is so good. If they just ran the ball with Javonte Williams, they might be fine. But that's not what Russell Wilson wants. Nathaniel Hackett hired some guy from the outside to do his job since he can't make decisions. I guess give him credit for that, for recognizing his own limitations. They're like, no, now he's going to get back to what he does best, call plays. Broncos offense look good to anybody. What are you doing? But Russell Wilson has been terrible. They are very fortunate to not be 0-3. Yeah. They should have lost last night. They easily could have lost in week 2. So that's the Broncos part of it. I was right about the Broncos. I was right about Russell Wilson. I don't need to take any more victory laps about it. The idea that, they're going to compete for the AFC West. I understand right now, technically, they're tied for first in the AFC West. Mirage. Nonsense. Now to the Niners. I picked the Niners to go to the Super Bowl, and all my colleagues in the media, once Trey Lance got hurt, they're like, I think this is actually good for the Niners. I think they're better. As if we haven't seen Jimmy Garoppolo for the last half decade. DeMonte snuck away to bet on this game.
I didn't sneak away to bet on the game. I went downstairs because somebody was calling me. You hate it when people are talking while the games are going on. I was respecting.
Right. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we'll talk about the gambling thing later. Point is, I didn't know DeMonte had bet on the game, but I had bet on the game. It was my lock of the week. San Francisco minus 1.5, because I knew Denver wouldn't be able to get to 13 points. And I stupidly thought that San Francisco might be able to put together a couple touchdown drives.
It was looking really good in the beginning, man.
Yeah, I mean, they drove right down the field. Good. And then Jimmy Garoppolo made such vintage Jimmy G plays. The self-safety followed by the pick six that only wasn't a pick six because he safetied himself is just an all-time play. Then
they win.
The Broncos
they lose.
Score a touchdown, but the defense stops the 2-point conversion, so all you need is a field goal. Plenty of time, all your timeouts, and Jimmy G does the one thing he can't do.
I think he got sacked first and then threw a pick.
No. Well, no. The sack is later.
Oh.
He throws the pick across the middle of the field, double coverage for no reason. But that happens on the north side of the 2-minute warning. And so you thought the Niners were sunk. And I was like, no, they're going to get the ball back with plenty of time, which they did.
Yeah.
They had a timeout and a minute. So Jimmy throws the game-losing pick. The defense bails him out. And so now they have a minute 40 and a timeout, down 1. And you and I'm laying a 1.5. You just need them to win. Jimmy, all he needs is a drive. One drive. Got a good field goal kicker in Robbie Gould. First play of the drive takes a terrible sack. The first play. And then the next play, I forget who it was, but the guy throws 2 fumbles. This is who Jimmy Garoppolo is. Flatly. He is unlike other below average quarterbacks, maybe because he's so handsome, maybe because the media likes him so much, he won't admit in his own brain he's below average. So he thinks he can make these throws he can't make. On the drive he threw the pick at the end of the game, he damn near threw a pick 6 on the sideline. He threw a pick that got waved off because he ran out the back of the end zone. This is who the guy is. The Niners have an awesome running game. I like their coach a lot. and a great defense. The reason the Trey Lance injury was so devastating.
Trey Lance would have won that game.
Anybody would have won that
Trey Lance
game.
would have won that game.
And again, Trey Lance might not be good. It might not be great. I don't know. But I know what Jimmy G is. And it's shame on me for betting on him. But that game went about the way I thought it would. Shanahan would be able to design up a touchdown. Maybe they get... Oh, and the other thing that was just a killer was, despite all the Jimmy G stuff, there were, between the two teams, 5 fumbles in that game. And the Broncos recovered 4 of them, including one where the Broncos fumbled inside their own 5. And that was a killer. There was some unlucky stuff there. There were these
30 flags.
But that one, I told you so on Jimmy G, and I told you so on Russell Wilson. Russell will be better. Jimmy G will have moments where he looks better, but in the most critical spots, this is who he has always been.
Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.